Good evening, everyone, and welcome back for week 6. That's our last session of our Fearless Immunity Masterclass. I hope everybody's had a great time so far. We've gotten a ton of really awesome feedback from people making great changes in their health, their lifestyle, things that have already made a massive difference in their overall health and vitality. And so that was the entire point of doing this masterclass series, was to break these things down into smaller chunks so that you could implement things bit by bit. Even if it was just cutting out sugar for a week, that alone is a massive difference in your health and a really great step to take. And a lot of times it's hard to take those steps if you don't have a little bit of accountability or somebody to push you. So I'm really excited to have you guys join us this week as we're going to really tie everything together here with another powerful essential. And that is fitness. And I don't think I have to really pound into most of your heads that fitness really is an important thing. Most of us know that we should be getting in some type of exercise or movement throughout the week. And a lot of times it just comes down to being able to make that happen. And so I want to give you some really powerful action steps, some even more powerful mindset tools to really anchor yourself to really get the best start on the rest of your health journey, because that's what all of this is about. And it is a journey, and it's about making those small changes that really add up to make massive differences. So we're going to dive in here, and I'm really excited that everybody has stuck along with us, because together we can make these big changes and really create our new normal together, right? Because nobody should be creating that for you. Nobody should be dictating what your new normal is. We say that all the time here in the office, is that you are responsible for your health, right? It's not me. It's not Dr. Peter and Natalie or Dr. Colin. It's not your insurance company or your MD. It's you. And when you have the tools and the knowledge to do so, that's the empowering place to be in. And when you can implement that in your own life and then share that with the ones around you and the family members that you have and the friends that have been looking for exactly this, like that's when we can actually change communities together. And that's really where we need to be at, because right now, more than ever, we do need to create this new normal for ourselves. Before all of this lockdown stuff and pandemic talk, the United States in particular was not on a great trajectory in terms of our overall health. And especially when it comes to fitness, we really lack on this side of things, as only 20% of adults meet physical activity guidelines, which isn't a whole lot. It really comes out to be about 20 minutes a day, 3 to 4 days a week at a moderate intensity. And that alone can stave off a lot of different chronic diseases like heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, depression, different types of cancers. Lots of children now are falling prey to the same exact type of lifestyle and inactivity. When less than 30% of high schoolers are getting consistent physical activity throughout the week, that's just setting up kids for a lifelong journey of really and not going in the direction that I'm sure they would want to go in themselves. So when we're looking at physical activity in particular, like it really comes up to be how our lifestyles have changed overall. And that's where we do need to kind of fill in the gaps, because never before have we been so sedentary. Between our jobs, kids being stuck in their desks at school, less and less recess time, as well as gym time for the kids. The average person spends somewhere between 6 to 10 hours on technology a day. So that alone will cause us to really fall back in our overall movement throughout the day as well. And so what that's led to is an exponential rise in obesity and overweight. And 30 years ago, it really wasn't something that was super common. 10 to maybe 15% of the population on average across the US would have been considered in the obese category. Now, this graph shows 2015, 2020 isn't any better. No surprise there. And so those trends have only exponentially increased. And what's increased with that is all different forms of disease and chronic disease. And when it comes to health, I think this is almost a better stat to pay attention to, because weight is one thing, it's something to look into. But when it comes to our overall metabolic health, that actually gives a lot more insight in terms of how that affects our health overall. And this stat is just crazy to me. Like 12% of Americans are considered metabolically healthy. And there's a lot of different things that are taken into account here, but metabolic health equates to every aspect of your body in terms of how well your hormones are able to work, how well your cells and different components within your cells, like your mitochondria, are able to function, as well as your immune system. Your immune system is directly impacted by your metabolic health as well. And so that's where it's really great to dive into powerful principles of fitness. We've already covered a lot of great things in terms of nutrition and detox, which will also affect your metabolic health, but fitness is another key factor in terms of really improving that overall. And there's studies after studies showing how this really does impact our overall life. And really, when it comes to fitness, we just need to refocus and reshift our mindset towards developing a great plan that we can be excited about and be sustainable with, because that's really the biggest downfall in a lot of people's plans, that we have a hard time sticking to it, right? Like when I look across the street at LA Fitness in January, it looks a lot different in March or April, right? You know, there's some fall off there, and there's lots of reasons for that, but we're going to hit some great principles here to really keep you honed in and keyed in. And a lot of that starts with how we even define fitness ourselves, right? Like if we have a good mentality and a good overall viewpoint of what fitness is, then we can anchor to something bigger than just trying to lose a few pounds, because statistically that doesn't keep us motivated. It doesn't keep us in the right place to consistently get good results. And so when it comes to fitness, instead of just thinking about lifting weights or sitting on the treadmill for an hour, we got to think about all the things that go into making us truly fit. And if you want to be truly fit, it does incorporate having a great nutrition plan, avoiding a lot of toxins and overburdening your body with the toxins that are affecting our hormones and our gut and our microbiome, having a good positive mindset and good relationships, and bringing in the right type of vitamins and nutrients, as well as everything else that goes into being truly fit or well or holistic or vitalistic. So when it comes down to it, it really is about your overall lifestyle and implementing these in and day out, because that's what's going to drive results and really get you to a place that you want to be and that you're happy with. And so when it comes to from a physical standpoint and actually attaining true fitness, these are some great components to add in with every workout that you do. And so you can start incorporating these things into your daily regimen and your workout regimen. And over time, you're going to build a much more functional capacity to be overall fit. And so, and don't get me wrong, like if you haven't, really exercised or haven't done a whole lot recently and just need to get moving, like that alone is a great place to start. Just going for a walk, just getting up from your desk every hour and doing a power lap around the office or going up and down the stairs. Like those little things are going to add up. And that's a great place to start for a lot of us. And then you can always increasingly take that to new levels. So the next level for a lot of you is to now incorporate, instead of maybe just going for a walk around the block, maybe 2 laps around the block, and in one of those laps, really pick up the pace so that now your heart rate is up and you're breathing a little heavier. Once we've gotten past that, then picking up, different movements, doing some squats and lunges and doing those at different speeds and variables. And that will bring in flexibility and coordination and agility. And then bringing that to the next level and adding a little more intensity and speed in there, maybe adding some weights and or bands and using some resistance to add some different dynamics to your workout as well. And you can do all these right at home. You don't need a fancy workout plan or a lot of different resources to do these things. It mostly starts up here, committing to doing it and then actually carrying that out. And lots of great ways to do that, and we'll go over some of that soon. But when it comes to really getting the most out of your exercise and your workout routines, what the latest research is finding is that short duration but high intensity exercise is the most effective type of exercise to really get the greatest benefits overall. And that's from a hormonal standpoint, building lean muscle tissue, cardiovascular health, and all those other things that I just listed before in terms of creating overall good fitness, strength, speed, coordination, flexibility. And we can do that by incorporating a lot of different movements, but doing them at a little higher intensity so that your heart rate's getting up, you're breathing heavy, and you're putting your body into this state where now it has to adapt. And that's what growth is all about, right? Even if it comes from a mindset standpoint, like we don't grow if we're not stressed. And if we turn that stress into good stress and actually adapt to that, that's where we make changes and we grow and learn from that. And so your body is no different from a physical standpoint. If you put your body into a place where it's having to adapt to these stresses you're putting on it, that's where you're going to gain strength, but as well as coordination, all those other things that I just talked about. So what happens when we do that is that after a hard workout where you're sweating and breathing hard and you're tired and you don't feel like you could do another squat or push up, or like you have to slow down on your walk, you've put your body in a different metabolic state. And that new metabolic state is there to help your body recover and replenish those resources. And so it takes a lot of energy to do that. And what we call that is the afterburn effect, when after a workout, your body has to now regain a place of homeostasis or balance. And so after, let's say, if you were to just do some classic cardio, you hop on the elliptical, you hop on the treadmill, and you just go for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it is, at a nice, easy pace. Believe me, it's not bad. It's not, if that's what makes you happy, and that's like when you turn the podcast on and you listen to a book or something like that's great. Like keep doing that. But you can incorporate some high intensity movements throughout the week too, or exercise sessions. And that's going to really help you out, because with classic cardio, you just burn calories as you're working out. And yeah, maybe that, and we could get into the calorie thing later, but what happened when you stop, now your body goes back to resting pretty quick. After a high intensity workout where you're using a lot of different muscles, energy systems, and things like that, now your body takes hours, if not 24 to 48 hours to recover. And in that recovery period, you're utilizing a lot of extra energy and resources, fat stores and other energy stores to replenish. And so what that comes down to is you're burning energy for a lot longer after your workout. And other things that are incorporated into high intensity workouts that really help create overall good health is we're upregulating a lot of good hormones, like anabolic hormones, like growth hormone, testosterone, that are helping your body build lean tissue, burn fat, and really help upregulate even other hormones that are necessary for our overall health too, like ghrelin, leptin, insulin. Are great things to help with our overall cellular energy and blood glucose and blood sugar levels. So you can dive into those things at some point, or maybe we'll have a special session on more of the hormonal effects of these at some point. But you're really improving a lot more than just burning calories. So, and what we know with fitness, and especially high intensity fitness, that we're improving a lot of other factors of health as well in terms of epigenetics, so how our genome is affected and how that's even passed down multiple generations. It positively impacts essentially every chronic disease and even things you would never expect to be associated with exercise. And even when it comes to cancer, there's lots and lots of studies when it comes to improving your immune system's ability to really clear out old cells that are not functioning properly. Because if those cells aren't functioning properly, it's going to not create energy properly, and your immune system is going to take that as a damaged cell and take that out. And so lots of interesting studies out there to really support all of this, and really just to know that by doing any exercise, you're doing so much more for yourself than you ever could imagine. Like if a drug company could create a drug that could even touch what some exercise could do for you, they would make billions of dollars off of it. But there's never been a drug that's as effective as getting some exercise in, and then of course, obviously eating right and mitigating stress and things like that too. So what it comes down to a lot of times when it comes to starting a workout regimen or just starting anything in general, there's a lot of these limiting factors that come through our minds, right? And I get it. Like I've been there, and it is frustrating because you have good intentions, but there's always something holding you back, whether it's family or time. Gyms, maybe seem expensive compared to what you thought they were, or you're a little intimidated because you haven't worked out in a long time, and getting into a new environment is a little nerve-wracking. I totally get it, and I've met a lot of people in those same footsteps, and it is a major limiting factor, and sometimes that's just the hardest hurdle to get over. But knowing that it is the hardest hurdle to get over, once you make it past that, everything is a lot easier than you'd imagine. Just staying consistent with something that you love to do is really the biggest thing that you could do. And so there's plenty of ways to crush all those excuses. One way just to do it all at home. We have a Max T3 program that we have available right online. You can ask us about that. And what I want you to do for this week's attendance is throw in the comments either an emoji that has to do with what makes you excited to work out, or your favorite style of workout, what you love to do, your favorite gym that you go to, somewhere that you like. Put something in the comments about your workout routine, because we do have our t-shirts in. Those are in, so we just need your attendance for this week, and we'll be able to get those t-shirts to you next time that you're in the office. They're really, really awesome. They're great material. They'll be your next workout t-shirt for sure. And we do have one winner that we're going to pick to win a full year of vitamin D, which could not come at a better time right now, as we're getting less and less sunlight and we're indoors a lot more. So vitamin D be crucial for that one lucky winner, as well as the rest of us that live in Minnesota. So you can do it. You have all the resources that you need with your own body. You can use a lot of different body weight movements to work out. Right now, there's never been an easier time in history to get on YouTube or Pinterest. You can look up body weight exercises. Just doing something that's going to get your heart rate up and make you sweat is going to be great. You could, Google or YouTube like high intensity interval training, or Tabata is another term to look up. Just interval training in general would work. We have some different sample exercises that you can ask us about too, that we can get to you. And if you're just that person that you need more accountability, that's kind of like me. Like I love to work out with other people. Just having other people around is very motivating for me personally, and I just like to be in that community atmosphere. And so there's lots of great gyms around to try out. And quite honestly, you could pop around from gym to gym, because a lot of gyms do like 1 week trials or a free class to just test things out. And that's a great way to see where you think you fit in. Some of the gyms that we have right around us and people that have been great community partners for a while, one of them being F45. They have a great crew, really awesome coaches there. They walk you through a lot of different movements and exercises. The F standing for functional. So they preach and do everything that we preach and do in terms of keeping workouts functional and incorporating lots and lots of different movements and going through more of a circuit type training. CrossFit Minnetonka is just down the road from us. They do an awesome job as well. Really great coaches there to walk you through everything. And with these places and most other gyms too, like, you don't necessarily have to have a background in fitness. Maybe you've never worked out and you'd be just fine. Just showing up, like I said, is the hardest part. And once you get past that, you'll be amazed where you're at in a couple months when you have some people walking you through things. So there's lots of other really awesome places around too, different yoga studios or bar studios or HIIT studios, tons of places in the Minneapolis and surrounding areas. So we're fortunate to be in such a great area for that. Let us know if you need any suggestions too, like even LA Fitness, Anytime Fitness. We have partners over there that'll get you set up with even class workouts or personal training. I mean, you name it, we'll get you plugged in, because it really is important. So, and some other fun tips when it comes to making your fitness sustainable. Some of these things are big. Setting your focus on what you want to achieve and what that looks like. Having a really clear picture of where you want to be in a month, in 3 months, in 6 months, in a year, and then honing in on how you're going to do that and what that looks like, even on a daily basis. When are you going to work out? How are you going to get that movement in? Taking breaks throughout your day, getting up from your desk and doing a couple squats, couple lunges, like really getting your body moving. These things, like putting it in your subconscious mind, will eventually bring that to fruition. Like, you can't just assume just because you want to do it that it's going to pop up one day if you haven't been doing these things. So you really got to create a clear picture in your mind and how you're going to carry out these things. And then with an action plan, especially with our busy lives, like, that's a very common setback is our schedules, right? And like, I totally get that too. But if your health is a priority to you, and knowing fitness is one of those priorities, you can definitely get it in. You don't necessarily need 2 hours to get a great workout in. If you have 10, 15 minutes, you can easily get in a warm up and a high intensity exercise in, break a sweat, shower up, and then go to work. Like, it's totally possible. And even if you need to get your family members on board, do it with your kids. Like, they'll love doing it with you. Just make sure you set that into your weekly plan, right? And every day knowing when you're going to work out, about how long that's going to take, so that there's no surprises. And that's one of the easiest ways to cut out a lot of those setbacks. And finding somebody to hold you accountable, that can be one of the biggest key factors. It is nice when you go to a class workout, there's a lot of other people there to help you, like, subconsciously stay accountable, because they're there, you're there. Like, you might as well get in a good workout. If you're working out from home, having your spouse or even your kids will hold you accountable for sure. They'll love doing it with you. Just make it fun, make it a game. Have a little competition with it, so you can do the most burpees in a minute. There's definitely ways to get creative with those things. And of course, celebrate victories along the way. Even if they're small victories, you put in the work, celebrate, like, heck yeah. And celebrate with others around you, especially if you have an accountability partner. Like, be the first to congratulate them on staying persistent and committed to their goals. And those things will make a huge difference. So Let us know if you have any questions with any of those things, or need some help with accountability, or don't have any, set game plan in terms of your fitness. We can definitely help you out with that. It might be just a couple easy tweaks that really go a long way. And so when it comes to our overall physical fitness and fitness plan too, it's hard to stray too far away from making sure that our bodies are prepped and ready to go. It's hard to expect a whole lot of our bodies to adapt if they're not in a physically right place to adapt very well. And so that's why with a lot of you that are coming in the office and getting adjusted, I could not praise you more for staying committed to that, especially during these times. When maybe you're working from home and putting a ton of stress on your spine, your ergonomics have changed up, and those will all go a long way. Because when you're starting a new workout plan, if you look at the person on your left with the very straight neck, is the x-ray, right? And we want to see a nice curve through the spine. So you can imagine the spine's no longer able to function like a spring. Like, we have arcs in our spine for a reason, and some of you, we've talked about this many times over with, and you're like, yeah, I get it. But to put this into a different perspective, this is really going to help you with your fitness goals as well, because the better off your body's able to function and move, is going to help you tremendously. You're going to feel better during your workouts. You're going to recover better. You're going to prevent injuries from happening in the future. And then, of course, from a neurological standpoint, we've talked about this a lot too. And the most important factor of chiropractic and getting your spine adjusted and aligned as best as possible is that neurologically, our brain can communicate with the rest of our body at 100%. The nerves going to your thyroid can function and allow your body to create those T3, T4 hormones that are allowing our body to utilize energy at its best. The nerves going to our heart to control our heart rate and breathing and our digestive, like everything is connected. And so the better off you're taking care of your spine, the better off everything's able to function, right? And we've hit that numerous times. I know you guys are pros at that now and preaching this yourselves, but it's another great reminder just to take a few extra moments to really take care of your spine. Because I mean, as we go along here, like, all these are before and afters, and how people have dramatically improved their spine over time. Having almost scoliotic curve through your spine, and you're running long distances all the time. You can imagine like the wear and tear that's going to have on your body. Or if you're just sitting at a desk all day long, how much more compression you're having on your spine throughout the day as well. So that's why we do have specific techniques in the office for spinal correction, but also home care things that are so important, like flossing and brushing your teeth, right? Like, we floss and brush our spine and really create the best environment for our spine to be healthy. And so, right now, more than ever, like we've never seen so much stress placed on our spine. Every inch that our head goes forward adds about 10 pounds of force to our spine. So making sure we're using those good ergonomics that we've talked about, because it's going to be hard to just get up and do a hard workout if there's a ton of stress and strain on your body. Your spine's, you're putting your body and spine into a degenerative position. And I just put a lot of interesting studies on how that really does affect everything, even from your mindset to mood and your autonomic nervous system. So everything that controls your body. And Dr. Natalie covered that really well. But what I want to get to is that you can do a lot right now to really help your body overall. And I love to do these things in the morning. So I do some of these things in the morning and then some at night after the long day. If you're sitting for long periods of time throughout the day, these are great things to incorporate on a lunch break or every hour or two if you're sitting at a computer all day long, and can be super impactful in terms of keeping your body and spine healthy. And so there was a couple other topics in here wanted to get to. These would take a little while though. Some really fun topics to get into that if we have enough maybe poll or people are asking for it, we'd love to get into some of the fasting and some of the more in-depth topics that will definitely help you metabolically, but your immune system as well. Fasting can be a great tool for that. And these are some things that I'd love to come back to, maybe as a bonus episode, if you guys are really interested in utilizing it. So, thank you guys again. You guys have been awesome, hearing some really great stuff. And we have some really fun things coming up too, in terms of t-shirts that we have to give away to you guys. So let us make sure you do your attendance today. Just put an emoji, something in the comments. Just comment, press the like button, just something so we know that you were watching. That's why we're doing it. And stay plugged into the Fearless group. Like, this questions that you guys have, I guarantee you somebody else has too. So add your questions in there. We'd love to dive in a little deeper, a little further with you guys and give you our take, and at least provide the right resources to point you to. And we want to hear from you. Like, what changes have you made? Even if it's just one change, what change has been the most significant change that you've made? And how has that impacted your life? A bonus question, like, what have you gotten somebody else to change? How have you helped somebody else through what you've known? And how has that changed their lives? And so add that as well. We want to hear how you guys have been doing. We want to know how we can help you out further. And you're going to help out other people just with what you've learned. And we have some smart people here too, by the way. Some great conversations that I had. We've gone really in depth, and you guys are awesome, way ahead of the vast majority of the population out there. So you guys are really doing great. And I want to take a second here, because we all have a shared interest in our friends and family, right? Like, we all have a goal to be healthy, right? Like, without our health, what do you have? And so that's why we love doing a friends and family week once or maybe twice a year. It's a special time for us, especially around the holidays, when, I know we're focusing in on a lot of different things around this time of year, but our health is so important. And especially this time when we're getting around more family members and hearing different stories and hearing of the trials, tribulations. I can't tell you how many friends and family members I've heard of that have gone through the ringer, right? Like, they've been to all the specialists, been taking all the drugs, doing all the different things, but have never gotten good answers when it comes to their health. And as you guys well know, if we can get to the cause of issues and really get the body functioning at its best, it's amazing what the body's capable of, and allowing it to heal and function properly. And so with the Friends and Family Week, anyone that you know that would be interested and could utilize what we do, we're doing a special complimentary exam consult and any necessary testing or x-rays that we need to get done, so they have the best idea what's going on with their health. And it's really the least we can do for people at this time. And I love seeing the light bulbs turn on for people, right? Because most people have never gotten that. They've never gotten a different take on their health. They've never realized that there's something that they can actually do to help themselves and really empower themselves with the information they need to get well. And I mean, that the gift of health is unlike anything else. Even if they're in a different state, like we have offices and colleagues that we know all over the country. So let us know. We can at least get them somewhere. At least here, if they're in the Twin Cities, we can offer this complimentary exam for them. And we got that coming up because we all know somebody like that. Like, this is a boy who came into the office with mild constipation. They were told, it's kind of normal. Try, adding some fiber, and they were starting some courses of trying different things, but nothing had really fixed it, right? Because otherwise you wouldn't still have it. And now that you guys are well trained in what we're looking for in the spine, you can see the curves there, right? Like 7-degree curve, a 6 degrees compensating curve coming up through the upper part of the spine, and that's interfering with those nerves that allow our digestive system and our digestive tract to function properly. And so if those aren't functioning properly, it doesn't really matter how much organic broccoli and all the other fun stuff and probiotics and all the other stuff that you're taking. They're some of those are good things to do for sure, but if we're not getting down to the cause, it's not going to fix those issues. And so that's where a little bit of care, kids respond to these things so quickly too. It's so awesome. They're growing and adapting still, so their spines adapt so fast to care. After just the first reassessment, first re-x-ray, you can already see a massive difference in the overall alignment of their spine. And we see this time and time and time again. And the thing, some of the minor back tension that he didn't really talk about had gone away because he didn't know that was an issue. But that went away. Constipation, things like that started to bit by bit clear up. And this, who knows where this would have led if somebody didn't just speak up, because this was a friend of one of our patients who referred him in on a friends and family week and totally changed around the trajectory of the rest of his life. So just as an example of ways that we've helped people that never otherwise would have known or been able to get to the cause and get healthy. So love to go on and on about that, but just spread the word, spread what you know. Don't leave people feeling hopeless and powerless. Even if it's something as easy as telling your neighbor that, your body is designed to heal. We always say it here, that one of our favorite lines, the power that made body heals the body, right? So, just spread the good word, spread what you know. You guys have learned a lot through all this, and so happy to be on this journey with you. So let us know what we can do to keep you going along this journey in the best trajectory possible. And we love you guys. So have a great night here. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.